Hello again, Jeremy from Rhodeswood in Harrogate, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. We're constantly asked, can you show me how to do the Pratt knot and the daffodil knot or whatever they are? There are actually, there's a book being written, 85 different ways to tie a tie. I think most of those are a mathematical calculation. In my book, and why complicate it, there are 4 main tie knots. Now, there's a lot of passionate comments saying that, you know, the Windsor knot is the only knot and anything else isn't. I learned to tie the Windsor knot when I was 5 years old. I never tie it. It's our most popular video by far on other social media channels, and today I will show you how to tie the 4 knots that I swear by, the ones that I think you need to know. If you want to know how to do the Eldridge and the other ones, then don't ask me. I don't know how. I don't need to know. I think they kind of look as though they're almost trying too hard, but that's only my opinion. And if it works for you and you're going to a wedding or a special occasion and you want to tie one of those things, you will find it out there. So I will show you how I tie the 4 basic knots that I think everyone needs. So this is how I tie my favourite knot. It's the one I use 95% of the time, the 4 in hand. And as always, never break your collar, or you can do what you want, it's your shirt. I never break the collar. Slip the tie underneath, slide it round, a few pulls like that. Check that it's not showing at the back. And then if you button up your top collar and judging the length, 4 in hand, that's about right for me. So just go over with the long end, around, up through and down. Very simple schoolboy knot. Slip or pinch a little dimple into there and slide that up, and you should be aiming for the tie to be kissing the bottom of the waistband, or in that area, somewhere at the top to the bottom. It's about right. Then moving on to the half-windsor knot, there is more turns of the tie, so you will take up more time. So you're going to need a shorter end. Again, button up the top, the long over the short, and we go up and onto one side. So that's half of the Windsor. Now some people call a full Windsor a double Windsor. In my book there's no such thing. It's just a modernism or a different way of calling it. It's a half or a full. This is a half Windsor. So now we go around, past the blade, up and through, and it gives you a bulkier knot. If I slide that up, you can see by starting with a shorter end, I'm just in that area, could have gone a little shorter. Not quite as symmetrical as a full Windsor, but there we are, that's a half Windsor. Yeah. So moving on to the Windsor knot. This is a knot my father's taught me to tie when I was 5. He used it all his life. I started in the trade, and on the first day of employment in Case Menswear in Huddersfield, the buyer said to me, "No, you should be tying 4 in hand." And he showed me how to do it, which is probably what I've been tying for school anyway. So a Windsor knot, I'm 6'2", carry a little bit of weight. You're going to run out of tie. There's generally not enough silk, and you'll end up with a blade that's stopping there. So you need to start with a reasonably short rear blade, and our ties are 2 inches longer, but you'll see short blade, go over and up and just form that part as you did with the half Windsor. Now bring this around and go back on yourself through this opening and you get this almost like an upside down triangle, and that gives you this symmetrical look and this bulk. Now come around and over and bring the blade up through the back and down through here, sliding this up to your neck, and we need to pull down now. I still like a dimple with this, and you can see on me, you can just tuck that into the rear keeper, and that's on the brink of being short for me. Now many people swear by this knot. If it's for you, that's great. That's a full Windsor. So here's another knot called Prince Albert, or a double 4 in hand, meaning that you go around twice. And it's a bit of fun. I quite like this knot. I think it looks good on younger guys playing cashmere ties. It's a little bit of a twist to a plain tie to lift it. But when I use this knot is when the tie is either really on the long side or quite flimsy, very fine. This is a very fine English silk tie, and it ties a knot that's too small. So when I do wear it, a Prince Albert is the knot to choose. So a reasonably short end, and we're going to go around twice, and keeping my finger in there to keep the loop there to put the blade down. So pass the blade up and go through both of those turns. Now you'll see as I pull this down, it will start to pull the layer behind, and if I fasten that up to my neck and pull it tighter, a bit harder to get a dimple into this one. It's a very fine tie, but you'll see this lower loop showing beneath the top. A bit quirky. I like it with, say, a plain camel cashmere or a navy tie, or ties that are very fine as this, and that's a Prince Albert. For me, probably the 4 knots that you will need. If you want to know about any others, there are plenty of people out there teaching the Eldridge, the Pratt, all those other knots. That's up to you. If you ask my opinion, a little bit tried too hard, but we're all different. So those are the 4 that I advocate.